I'm going to start while I can because he might start mowing his lawns again. Hello, hi, it's me, Rose-Ingrid, and welcome to another episode of a Daily Dose of Ingrid the Rose. And today I'm in a random park. Shout out to random people in Kingston because I'm here for a sleep study. I'm gonna sleep with wires in my face and stuff to see if I breathe. I took 2 sleep studies last summer and they were pretty brutal, but now I've taken my tonsils out and I've lost some weight, and so we're gonna see if it's still as bad. I know it's not as bad, but we're gonna see if it's still bad. Today was a little bit of a crazy day because I had to travel from Montreal and I was working on some applications, and so I didn't get to film in the morning, but we're doing it every day, and I was like, you know what, now's as good a time as ever. I have over an hour to kill. I'm like a 15-minute walk from where I'm supposed to be, and the light is perfect, and this park is generally quiet, so it'll probably be better sound than if I was inside a restaurant or something, you know? I actually had things I wanted to talk about today. Let me ponder. It's only Tuesday, which is crazy because it feels like it's been a longer week. I was saying earlier today that these daily times to reflect have been really interesting because they're allowing me to verbally process things. Like, yes, I'm sharing and I'm learning to be seen and I'm doing this exchange with you, but I'm also processing, like slowing down and processing things with myself in ways that I haven't had space to. And so it's been kind of cool to set a foundation. I love kids. They're so cute. Sorry, little man. I thought I blocked you. Yeah, just to have space to verbalize thoughts and to reflect. And it's been teaching me about myself, and so I really appreciate this time we share together. And I see the views, you know, like, yeah, I know some days it's 0, but I've seen the 10, the 16, the 12, the 5. And so whoever you are, if you're watching this today, I really value you, appreciate you. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you for helping me chronicle this season of my life. I don't know what's next, but I know that we're going to document it together. It's interesting because I was sifting through some old stuff as I was applying for this program, and I went through my old YouTube, and I had it's like 54 videos. Now, much of them are just like random, like concert stuff that I'm not making live, but there's like over 40 videos of me performing music and talk and poetry and talking at the camera in my mid-20s and late 20s, and like 12 years ago and 15 years ago, and me auditioning for things and performing. Like, the cameras are bad back then, they were horrible, and it's funny, and like doing like covers with like friends and some of the youth group kids and shit. And I hadn't looked at my old YouTube in a long time, and most of my videos were actually privated, even the ones that were getting like decent amount of views. Like, and I thought about that, about how at some point it felt, I guess I wanted to, clean the slate. It felt appropriate to either keep those things archived and not share them with the world anymore, maybe because they didn't reflect a part of me. I'm not quite sure what the conscious reason was. And today I'm public them all. I put them all public. I don't think anyone's gonna watch them, but I think it was like a gesture, like a symbol of like, no, the stuff I made in the past is worth something. And look at how young Ingrid was out here just being bold and telling her story, because she was very much a she-her, okay? Telling her story and, playing poorly and not caring, because she was passionate about the music she was making, and she was passionate about the God she served, and she was passionate about the life she was living. And I really respect that boldness. And today I was just reminded of parts of me that I had not explored in a long time. And though I there's a bit of youthful zeal, I think it's just actually like commitment and passion for what I loved and for who I was in that moment. I think I'd fully embraced, at least what I was consciously aware of, in a way that I don't know if like just time or getting older or getting tired or just a lot of pain and disappointment has like siphoned from me. But I actually want to get back to that. I also was like, bitch, you were trying to YouTube in 2012, like in 2013, you were yapping at the screen. And I was like, what would have happened if I had just steadily just kept filming every day, every week, even with my bad editing or whatever? Where would I be today, 10, 15, 20 years later, you know? And again, I don't blame her. I don't judge her. I'm just learning from what she left behind. And I'm like, okay, this is why, like, today it was important that no matter what, I'm going to put up this vlog. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep being consistent and putting out what I can and trusting that, like, I'm going to get better. I'm going to learn. I'm going to get faster. And also, I am going to continue to chronicle my journey and my art and my life because I believe it's valuable. And it's interesting how a younger version of me that was probably still full of so many insecurities and so much fear had so grasped and owned how valuable her voice was, how important she believed the story she was sharing and the art she was making was. And I know some of it is also like wrapped into religion and this higher purpose and higher being that I think that like outside of religion has been harder for me to grasp onto. Also because I saw firsthand how cult of personality and the worship and platforming of people can lead to harm and hurt. And when I left ministry, I think I wanted to really pull away from that. But I think I may have swung too far the other way on the pendulum. And I see how it's time for me to kind of find a middle ground. I think I can be here and be humble and be open to correction and open to change. I can evolve. I can set boundaries and say yes and say no when it's appropriate. And also say, hi, I'm Rose-Ingrid. I'm a Black, queer, child of Haitian immigrants living on so-called Canada on the Turtle Island. And let me tell you, I'm a motherfucking G. The art I make matters. I am good at what I do. And I think I have something to offer to the world. And none of that is prideful. I'm like, there are bigger G's than me, you know what I'm saying? But in my little thing of the world, I know that I've spent the last, 20, maybe more years fighting for my voice, fighting for justice, fighting for equality, making art that I cared about and I believed in, investing in my community, building things that did not exist before. That's been my story my entire life, and I can own that. And that boldness is important, I think, for us as creatives, as writers, as storytellers, as people who want to leave a mark. I think there's a certain level of like, yeah, man, come see me yap because I have something important to yap about. Come see me sing because I sing well, and also I believe that there's something healing to what I do in music. Or whatever it is that you do, I think there's a certain level of like, yeah, I'm here because I believe I have a value in being here. Where else would I be here? There's plenty of easier ways to make cash, guys. There's less stressful ways to make money and to be, I'm not doing this for the cash. It's not I want to eat, don't get me wrong, but the ultimate goal is not money or notoriety. Like, everyone who's famous hates it. I don't want to be famous. I want to make good art, to do right by mini-me, like the 10, 12-year-old me sitting in her bedroom dreaming of like singing in stadiums, but too scared to say it out loud because mom would have yelled. I want to do right by my communities. I want to do right by my ancestors. I want to make art that I'm passionate about and I'm proud of. I want to collaborate and build with people and institutions that I'm proud of, on projects that I'm proud of. I want to wake up in the morning, whether it's a good day or a bad day, and know that like whatever I put my mind to that day and put my hands to that day is honorable. And I have not always felt that way. about my work in different seasons of my life. Man. And I think one of the tensions of the last year or so is that I don't always feel that way when I wake up in the morning to do my job. I think the work I'm doing, I see how it's important, I see how it's impacted people. I see how it's made space for folks. I love that I get to hire and pay queer folks and black folks and brown folks to make art. I love that and create spaces for people to exist in places that they would not normally exist. And also, I do not always feel like that what I'm doing is done in an honorable way. Not because I'm not being honorable, but like you all know the catchphrase. If you don't, if you're my manager, you don't see this. You're not, okay? I don't think he has time to watch this anyway. Also, he knows. I've told him very directly. I think working within colonial institutions is really difficult, especially if you're racialized, especially if you're differently abled, especially if you're not straight and cis, especially if you care about honor and values and center people above all else. Institutions weren't built to do that. And it's not one, it's all of them. That's just not how they're built. And I knew that coming in, which was fine because it worked. But now that I represent an institution, I'm having a lot of Jesus Land flashbacks, let me tell you, and it's not pretty. There was a lot of good that came out of my time in ministry and a lot of bad. And it broke me. I had to shut up and play nice and perform and deny my voice and deny my values for the sake of the whole. And I left ministry in 2016, and I promised myself I would never do that for money again. And I don't think I'm there, but I'm seeing the inklings, and it's been tough. And I know that folks will be like, but Rose-Ingrid, stability and finances. And I'm like, I've never been that kid. I'd rather go scrub a toilet and do it honorably and wake up at peace and go to sleep with peace than make all the money in the world knowing for a fact that I have to not only stifle my full self for cash, but break a promise I made to myself. Because I did make a promise to myself that I would never muffle my voice for money ever again after I left Jesus Land. I jokingly say, if I'm not doing it for Jesus, I'm not doing it for you. Who are you? And so that's, it's tough. But I honor younger me in her perseverance, in her willingness to be seen, in her willingness to just fucking go for shit. She's a bold ass motherfucker. I was just reminded that I went on tour in 2016, and when the tour is like a nonprofit, they recruited me via like a cold email one day, and I was like, is this still legit? But they had a conference where they would kind of like share what they were doing, so for those who they invited to apply, because not everyone was guaranteed a slot. And it was in Nashville, and I was making no money, okay? No money. And the plan was to go on the road with a friend of mine who was a guitarist, and I told her, we're going to Nashville, I'll pay for your flight, I'll find the cash, and we're gonna go see what this is about. I had no money. I didn't know where I was gonna stay, so I literally Googled because I was going to a Calvary Fellowship church in Ottawa. I think I found the local Calvary Fellowship church in Nashville, called them, and said, hi, I'm Rose-Ingrid. I probably said I'm Rose because back then. But hi, I'm in Ottawa. I go to one of your sister churches. We're going to the XYZ for this reason. And I'm wondering if you have someone who will host us. And the pastor's like, say less. And there's a girl in the church, oh man, bless her heart. She picked us up from the airport. She housed us. She fed us. When I eventually did go on tour, we had to stop in Nashville. We stopped and hung out for a little bit. And yeah, man, like fearless. And sometimes I wonder where that person went. I think people would still say that I'm bold and that I take risk and that I'm ambitious, which is true, but there's a certain lightness that I feel like I once had that I'd like to capture again. And I think this process of going to Europe and fundraising and putting myself out there and this daily vlogging is part of that, I think. I think I'm healing a little part of me that was really, really brought low after all that ish went down with my career in ministry. And so it's kind of cool to rediscover. Anywho, I've been yapping for a bit. Love y'all. Get some sun somewhere. Look at this. Look at me. Look, melanin's the best. And, pray I don't need a CPAP. All right, bye.